Cop is such a good name.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So is Willem.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, we'll
Give
join a
yourself
club.
that.
Good name club.
High five.
Yeah.
You're no stranger to working with auteurs of the strange and unusual, but you've never worked with Tim Burton before this film, which I know to be a fact, but find kind of hard to believe.
Me too. I mean, I tease him. I always say, Tim, what took you so long?
Yeah, it's about
But I
time.
don't want to embarrass him too much or embarrass me too much. I don't know who's more embarrassed.
Hey, well, we're here now.
Yeah.
I'd love to know a little bit about your relationship to Beetlejuice before you came to the project, and what was it about this film that brought you on board?
Kind of came out of nowhere. Get a call. Tim Burton wants to talk to you, which gets my attention because I've followed his stuff for years and I really admire him. Then he says, it's a return to Beetlejuice, and my heart sinks for a second, like, really? And then he tells me what it is and what he wants me to do, and then I get excited. And then when I get there, I realize it's really a good continuation. He's in the groove. It's a world he loves. It's a world he owns. He's bringing back the people. It's in good. The spirit of it is good.
Yeah.
And I have a supporting role, so I don't have the heavy lift. But there's a lot of pleasures in this movie, and to work on it's fun because he's very energetic. He's very playful, and we shot quite quick. There was something not very precious and kind of fun about the handmade effects and things like that. That engages you in a different way. It didn't feel everything was in the room that we were dealing with. It's not like, okay, we'll approximate something and then someone will patch it together later. It had a different kind of presence than you have if you're working in a effects movie that's a lot of CGI or stuff after the fact.
Yeah, and that's kind of why a lot of people have so much love for the original, and I think I get the trepidation with sequels, but I think it's clear that everyone just has so much love for the world that you're creating here.
And he stuck to his guns because he really wasn't seduced to find easy solutions in post. He really dealt with kind of practical solutions for a lot of fantastical things. And sometimes they're almost cheesy and almost goofy, but they work very well because they have a humanness to them. That
they have a grit, kind of.
Yeah, they have a grit.
Yeah, for sure. Well, your character, Wolf Jackson, is kind of like a Tom Cruise-esque career actor turned afterlife cop, which is a great career trajectory in my eyes.
Yeah.
And it's all about keeping it real, obviously.
Right.
As an actor, obviously, yourself, and somebody who is very reflective on your body of work from your beginnings in theatre to the huge filmography that you have to look back on, how much of that did you kind of pull from when becoming Wolf?
I think more of a, like, TV series cops, these guys that, kind of rock solid and with big hair and I don't know. They're a special breed because they pride themselves on doing the action, and macho meets kind of celebrity, makes acting. It's a mix of that's easy to make fun of, and I don't identify as that necessarily, but I share some of that. So it's a good exercise in kind of poking fun at yourself and poking fun at acting and celebrity and cops. It's all in the mix.
Bunch.
It's like I didn't have to do big research for this. It was all kind of in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it felt like it was making fun at, but it was also very sincere in how it kind of looked at, a guy just looking back on his life of hijinks, which was really, really nice.
And the whole gag about, keep it real. Yeah. We found that phrase because we needed something to keep him together, And, of course, he's a guy that doesn't know how to keep it real, so that in itself is a good joke.
Yeah, for sure. But I do think it was grounded in like the whole of Beetlejuice, like you were saying before, a real heart and care for all of these fools,
Yep.
I would love to know which of your characters you think Wolf Jackson would have most liked to play. I have a hot take and think that he would make a really good Bobby Peru, or do a really good take on Vance from The Loveless. I think he could make it really punchy, you know?
Very good. Those are two good ones, but I think it's hard for me to imagine because they're both very specific. I'm sure there's something else in there somewhere that maybe there's a movie called Off Limits that maybe that would be more correct. I don't expect you to know that one, but that might be more a Wolf Jackson role.
Yeah, I don't know though. I think he has some depth down there somewhere. He could get to the heart of it. Obviously, we talked a little bit about the nostalgia of a kind of world like Beetlejuice and the world that Tim Burton has created here. Obviously, it's a very beloved franchise, and I guess even to call it a franchise feels kind of, you know, it's two films, two very distinct films. How does it feel to kind of step into this world that is so beloved? Was there a trepidation there?
No, as I said, when he first said we're doing a sequel, I thought, really? You know, I'd prefer to do something original with you, but it was original. I mean, and what he needed me to do was original because I'm a new character. And I don't have the heavy lifting. I mean, I'm part of the ensemble. And what really drives the film are a lot of the elements from the original film. So that's a comfort, and I trusted Tim just by how he talked about it, that he was excited about it, he had a new take on it. He talks actually quite beautifully about how, you know, he felt very connected making this movie, not as an exercise of nostalgia, but that Beetlejuice, the original Beetlejuice was a very important part of his filmography and a part of his development. And now he's returning to it after making many films and living lives and all that sort of thing. So he felt rooted, but at the same time had a different take on it. So he felt very alive when he was making the movie. He was playful, he was energetic. We shot it in a kind of very unpretentious way, very quick. He's working with his collaborators, a lot of people that he's worked with before. So everybody's, you know, working at a pretty high level.
Yeah. You kind of don't have time to sit around and dwell on the past when you're doing all that, I guess.
Or you know, think, you know, do it out of a sense of pleasure and wonder rather than, you know, just trying to calculate what people want. Yeah,
for sure. When did Beetlejuice kind of first come into your life? Do you remember when you first watched it?
I do remember. I can't, you know, they say 36 years, but, you know, I was never, 36 years is a little abstract for me. But I think I was, you know, I was a theater actor in New York then. Maybe I was making movies, but just at the very beginning. And I liked it a lot. And one little detail that I really remember, because it really impressed me, was I was working on an original theater piece at the time, and we were using Harry Belafonte music.
Great.
So when I saw Anne with kind of unusual dancing in the theater piece with Harry Belafonte music, and then when I saw the movie, I thought, wow, you know, we have some sort of connection here.
There's a commonality, and it's Harry.
Yeah.
Great.
That kind of stayed with me. I don't know exactly what that says. But,
in a funny way that music can, I guess. It brings you back to places that other things kind of can't. I said before that we're a cinema company.
Yes.
And I have a few questions for you relating to cinema and the theatrical experience, because it's something that's so important to us and I believe also very important to you.
It is. It is.
I would love to know what your dream day out at the cinema would consist of. The film you'd like to most see on the big screen, the company, the seat placement in the theater room.
You know, my favorite cinema experience is usually to be walking on the street, know that I have enough time to drop into a cinema. The size doesn't matter. Yeah. Even the technical stuff doesn't matter so much.
It's always more endearing when it's worse.
If it's better, great. But, you know, I think of, for example, the first time I saw The Witch of Robert Eggers, which was very important to me because he's become a very important filmmaker to me. I was literally walking down the street, and I had some time, which, you know, isn't always usual. And I thought, I can see this movie. really going just because of the poster or something. And I dropped in, and I had a great experience without expectation. There were a few people there. I didn't know about the movie. I'd been away working, and I came and I was unaware of it. And I really plugged into the movie in a very direct way. And I can close my eyes right now and be back in that theater. So that's a beautiful experience. That could never happen, I don't think, by, you know, it's not about the size, you know, about being at home and having the ability to turn off the TV or pause it or go to the toilet or, you know, have a drink or, you know, all these distractions. You know, being present and being, you know, gives you a much better chance to take on the challenges of a really good movie and to watch things in a very distracted way or with an intention just to kind of lose yourself and kind of forget about your life is not my thing. So the best experience is going into this thing and kind of being surprised, you know, really plugging into, oh, I never thought of that, you know, plugging into kind of curiosity and wonder that you can only plug into sort of by offering yourself up to an experience where you don't know where it's going to go, where you're more controlling when you're watching stuff at home.
Totally, completely, and that's kind of what we're all about.
Yeah.
Finally, I'd love to know why you think people should come and see Beetlejuice Beetlejuice specifically in a theatrical environment.
Because it's probably fun to see with an audience.
Probably.
Like a lot of comedies and a lot of things that have some outrageous sequences in them. Yeah, it's fun to see with a group of people. It's fun to laugh with people.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for your
Okay,
time,
sure.
Willem. Thank you for all of your movies.
All right,
They mean a
thank
lot
you.
to me.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You.
Thank you for watching Picture House Cinema's unique video content. Hit the subscribe button to be kept up to date with our movie news, cast and crew interviews, highlights, trailers, and lots more.